Hey guys, it's Mark the Knife Maker back to make another video about some fire starting ideas. A friend of mine saw the first one I just added and said I should do one more and add a lot more detail to try and explain how I do stuff and why I make my kits and how easy some of the stuff is. To me, being able to start the fire is kind of the easy part. It's being prepped and ready and having everything that you need. Like the dry wood, the tinder, having all that stuff ready is more important to me than being able to start it. If you only have wet wood or if you don't have any at all, being able to start a fire isn't going to do you any good. So it really does start with having all the right stuff that you need to get the fire going in the first place. So here is, again, a bag filled with Vaseline soaked cotton balls. It's very yucky, messy to get them out of here. Just to give you an idea, one cotton ball soaked with Vaseline. If you wear rubber gloves, that's another trick. Get a box of rubber gloves, you put the rubber gloves on, and again, you go to the dollar store, get a jar of Vaseline and a bag of the cotton balls. And while you're sitting down watching all these videos, you put on the gloves, grab a cotton ball, you dip it into the Vaseline, you move it all around to make sure that you're really soaking it. And then you fill a bag full. You don't have to carry, 47 of them here, but again, I keep one little container filled with Vaseline soaked cotton balls. And guys, here in New York, or pretty much anywhere, I would have to go with the line of thought that I would rather get stopped by the police or the game wardens burning Vaseline impregnated cotton balls as opposed to tampons. I'm sure tampons work really good. I know we all like to play with them and stuff, but if you're going to get caught by the police, I'd rather get caught with a container filled with cotton balls soaked with Vaseline as opposed to a container filled with Vaseline soaked tampons. And you get caught in the bushes burning, tampons with bags of condoms filled with water making cordage. In New York, that's intent to commit a felony, so you got to be really careful where you practice this stuff. In New York, most of the state parks and that, they don't want you going out and playing in the woods with your woodscraft skills. They don't want you starting fires. They have a grill set up where you have to start the fire. The game wardens are walking around checking everything that you're doing. You have to use their wood. You can't just go pick wood up. So think that out where you are, how you're going to explain to the police, why you got a bag filled with tampons that are soaked with Vaseline, cordage, and condoms. Those, you just got to think that out. Anyway, here's a little tin with Vaseline impregnated cotton ball. This is just Ranger Rick's idea. It's a Bic lighter, just a small Bic lighter that cut the bottom off. You could fill that with the cotton ball too, and you just use it as a sparker. But to start a fire, I'm going to fluff it up. I'm just giving you an idea. That's all it takes. You don't need anything else, just a spark and a little Vaseline in the cotton ball. If you have your firewood ready, you're set to go. Using these little X containers that I cut down. These work perfect. You could already put the cotton balls in there. You could pour a little bit of alcohol in here. Use this container. Just again, he said I should just give ideas how easy and quick it is. There's just a little bit of alcohol in there because I don't want to start my living room on fire. Again, it's just plain old alcohol in there. I'm going to look bad if I can't get this going. I don't think I put enough in there. I don't want to cheat. Now I don't know how the alcohol is. Oh, it was going. It's bad when you make a video and you can't make fire and you're making a fire making video. But there you go. And you can't, well, yeah, you can see it. So, again, a tiny bit of alcohol and just a spark. Okay, you don't need the fire steels, you don't need all that other stuff. Even if your lighter gets wet, I mean, you can blow it off. You can work it in your shirt, wait a couple minutes. It does work. Vaseline impregnated cotton balls. A container filled with that. A container filled up with fat wood shavings. Sprinkle these all over the cotton ball. A spark. This is a fire making kit that costs less than $1. So, I mean, you don't need the really expensive stuff to make a fire. Having a candle handy that you can use just to light off that is another good idea. You can get a box full of, you get 12 4-inch candles and a candle holder, both for $1 at the dollar store. And again, just to help you get that fire going and keep it going. Once you get a little flame, you light the candle really quick, and then if the fire does go on out, at least you don't have to play with, flicking the sparks. The survival candles, this Norwick 44-hour candle, you can cook, you can heat with this, you can use it in a tent. It's another really good fire starting idea that once you get that fire going, or just to light the candle itself with the matches that come with it, you can light sticks off the flame. If you don't have the fire all ready to go, the firewood and the tinder ready to go, this stuff isn't going to do you any good. If it's pouring rain out, if it's during the winter and everything's soaked, and you can't find enough dry material to burn, which I don't want to go into too much. There's always something you can find to burn. But anyway, none of this stuff's going to do you any good if you don't have something dry that you can burn. In my one kit here, my friend watched the video and said I didn't really show, I'm going to replace this anyway, everything that I had in there in enough detail for him to understand what I was talking about. I have some cotton rope. It's like a wick that I put in there. The fire straws. I'm sure you guys have seen the fire straw kits filled with Vaseline, magnesium, and the cotton balls, or you can use these trick candles that can't go on out. Okay, this is an Axe perfume or cologne container. You see them at the checkouts. It only costs like $1. It's just a little squirt bottle. I popped the end off of it, and I made, I'll try and line up for a close-up if I can, just a cork plug for the end of it. Okay, now this whole bottle is filled up with magnesium shavings. Here's the mag block, which you've all seen. Just a hacksaw blade. And you can see on the edge where I've cut the shavings off of. The striker's still on there. What I used is a razor knife, and you gotta cut the mag off there. You can't scrape it off. You get just like powder. If you scrape it off, you want to get big flaked off shavings that you can put in a small container like that. Okay, this stuff burns really, really hot, and once it gets going, it's almost impossible to put it out until the material's gone. So if you had to start some wet tinder on fire, that's where magnesium comes in really handy. It'll get it going hot enough to where hopefully you can get a spark going. Get a flame going. And here is a piece of tape around an old Swiss Army knife blade that I just took the knife apart, and there's a small hacksaw blade in there. Oh, I forgot. This is The tip from a rubber glove filled up with fat wood shavings. It's just enough in here to pour on there, pour the magnesium on the top, and this will give you a couple minutes burn time. It'll just give you a couple minutes burn time. A little button compass. Another snap light. This is one of those little 1-inch purple snap lights. Just for the sake of it, if it's at night, this will give you a couple minutes of light really quick to while you're making your fire. And here's another piece of the fat wood that you can take shavings off of that, or you can use that to start on fire. So with the candles, magnesium, the fat wood shavings, the black, the knife, the fire steel, this is another complete kit. No matter what, if you have some dry material with everything that's in this little Altoid kit, you should be able to get a fire going with a magnesium block to begin with. Practice using these. You want to scrape, not scrape, you want to shave little shavings. Try and get the biggest flaky chunks that you can. You want to get about the size of a quarter. You want to get a pretty big pile, otherwise you're just going to have to do it again. And use a really good fire steel, or use the one on the back of the block. Okay, that's just the one main backup kit that I carry if I'm going out with my Alice pack. That's when this goes in it. Otherwise, in my small fanny pack, it's the Vaseline and the fat wood shavings and my fire steel. You can bring all this other stuff to play with, but again, with me, I stick with what works for me. Normally, with just a fire steel, you shouldn't need anything else but just the fire steel. You know, you guys have seen the vids, so if you've gone out and you practice this stuff, you shouldn't need any of this stuff. You should be able to just use the fire steel to make your fires. I'm sure you've all seen the videos on how easy and quick it is, but watching you guys play with all these toys gets me going, because I'm a guy too, and I like playing with all this stuff. This fire steel, I can't think of the name of it, and I'm half blind, but this is the fire steel, where you push down on one side as you push down on it, and it directs the spark out. It's kind of big and bulky, that's why I added it to this kit. Okay, it's got a couple wet fires in there, and it's got a bunch of pieces of the fat wood. So you can pull out the fat wood, you can make a little pile, you put the wet fire on there, and this will give you about a 10-15 minutes worth of material to burn. So if it's really, really wet out, again, it's just something else that you could have with you just in case if the rest of this stuff didn't work, or if you knew you were going to be out around really damp environments where you were going to need a long starter fire to get your wet tinder going. A bigger kit like this might be good. But again, where do you draw the line on how much to carry? I mean, you'd want to carry all of this stuff all the time, but I've got a tote filled up with stuff that you could bring out that makes fire. You could bring a torch with you. You could bring a road flare, which is another really good idea. There's all different ways to start a fire, but if you don't have the dry tinder and the dry material, none of this stuff is going to do you any good. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more videos about different ideas for things to burn if you're not in the woods or around the woods, what burns for a long time when you get it going. Thanks for watching the videos. Leave comments, ask questions. Thanks for watching.